Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the topic that we will discuss today it is an oxide. Basically, oxides it is a binary compound of oxygen. The word oxide is just denoting the oxygen. So when oxygen is having its binary compound with another element, then it is known as the oxides. Next, it can also form the bond with the metals and the oxygen. On the other hand, the oxides can be classified into two ways. It is the nature of oxides and the amount of oxygen that is present. So basically, when oxygen is forming a bond with other elements, or we can also say that oxygen can make the bond with all the elements that are present in the periodic table. So that's why since many of them may have some quite unusual properties, and also there is an extensive varied chemistry of the compounds of the oxygen. So we have an extensive study about the all compounds of the oxygen. On the other hand, here we will discuss about the classification of the elements that depends upon their nature of bonding with the other elements, or we can say that with metals and non-metals. So let's discuss its different classification on the basis of the classification. Oxides have two main types. The number one, we have metallic oxide, and then we have non-metallic oxide. The metallic oxides can be of two types. They may be of basic oxides and they may be of amphoteric in nature. On the other hand, the non-metallic oxides are basically acidic oxides and they may be also neutral oxides. So mainly we have two types of oxides, metallic and non-metallic, or we can also categorize like acidic oxides, and we have basic oxides. Now let's see how these oxides have been categorized and what type of properties these oxides may have. So the first one is the acidic and basic oxide. When we have a look on the acidic oxides, basically the non-metals when react with the oxygen they form the acidic oxides, and when the metals react with the oxygen then they form the basic oxides. On the other hand, the acidic oxides or the non-metallic oxides they dissolve in water to produce the acids, and the basic oxides they just react with the water to produce the metallic hydroxide. So let's have an example for this, that how the metallic oxides are basic in nature. For example, if we have a metal oxide like magnesium oxide, when it gets dissolved in water, it just produces magnesium hydroxide. This is a simple base, as the metallic oxide when get dissolved in water they produces bases, so that's why they are basic in nature. On the other hand, let's have a look on the example of acidic oxides of the non-metallic oxide. We have a lot of non-metallic oxides around us. For example, we have SO3, that is sulfur trioxide. It is the non-metallic oxide. When it reacts with the water, it produces an acid. So that's why they are acidic in nature. So this is the simple example of acidic and basic character of the oxides of metals as well as of the non-metals. On the other hand, we have another type of oxides which is amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides, these are the metal oxides basically that react with both acids as well as with the bases, and they create the salts and water, or that have both the properties of acidic as well as basic. So that's why they are known as amphoteric in nature, and they are also known as the less electropositive elements. So let's have a look on the simple example of the amphoteric oxides. For example, we have here aluminium oxide. When it reacts with the acid, it produces aluminium chloride, which is salt and water. On the other hand, when aluminium oxide reacts with the base, it produces a salt and water. It's mean it having both the properties of acidic and basics. For this reason, it has been named as amphoteric in nature. Another example for this we have zinc oxide. When it get reacts with sulfuric acid, it forms zinc sulfate plus water. On the other hand, when zinc oxide it get reacts with the sodium hydroxide and water, then it produces a complex compound that is sodium zinc hydroxide. So that's why it is amphoteric in nature. It has both the properties of acids as bases. On a whole, when we move from left to right in the periodic table, we just see that we have first the strongly basic oxides, then we have amphoteric oxide, then we have the strongly acidic oxides. There are some oxides that can be called as the neutral oxides. For example, the oxide of oxygen or the bond of oxygen with the hydrogen. So this is the most important oxide we have. So this was a simple trend from left to right in the periodic table, but we when move from top to bottom, as the example from group 2A, we have beryllium oxide, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide and strontium oxide along with the barium oxide. When we move from top to bottom, in turn, their basic character increases because their metallic character also increases. So this was a simple trend in the periodic table that was about amphoteric oxides, acidic and basic oxides. So all this just depends upon the nature of the substances that are having bond with the oxygen. This is all about today's lecture. I hope you guys understand, and if you have any queries, you may ask me about that. And the next topic that we will discuss, it is the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.